Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet. Red alert, this is gonna hurt. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek. We are the elite, and you are the weak. And I will always get back up on my feet. Why are they alive? Radio on the way. When your face is in the dark.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone Messiah, Phillip Brandon, joined by the Canadian destroyer BT Brandon Tanguma. We are back with another episode of the Bulletcast. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? My young boys from the yacht going crazy. Shout out to Drake, man. See, this is Drake. Everybody was anticipating one album. Shout out to Iceman's probably going to be the album because they got the Michael glove on. And listen, I saw the Michael movie. I have some teas. We're going to talk about that too. We don't just talk wrestling on this show. We talk about it all. This has really become a pop culture podcast, if I'm not mistaken. But listen, man, my boy Drake dropped 3 albums at midnight. Who else? Nobody else. Nobody else is doing this. You know what I'm saying? Nobody dead or alive. Yo. He's the cream of the crop. I've been trying to tell you all this for years. Yo. Brandon, BT, Canadian Destroyer. What's going on, man?
What's up, everyone? Some people might say that Drake dropped more albums in one night than Kendrick did in 10 years. Some might also argue that, Kendrick dropped one album last year that's better than all 3 of these albums. But I digress.
We can't say that. We can't say that at all. Stop.
There's more bangers on one Kendrick album than all 3 of the Drake albums combined.
Absolutely not.
Some people might say. I'm not saying it.
He's putting over the Bay. He's already scored the points. Like, this is, he said on Cetus in these songs. We're like, what? Come on now. Putting on for Oakland and the Yak and on Cetus. This is what I'm talking about, man. If he mentions Hayward, he's locked in forever. He'll become a Bay Area legend. Yeah.
I mean, I've I'm the Canadian destroyer, but I still listen to Drake. I listened to the Iceman album, which was the one that was supposed to come out, and then he dropped 2 surprise ones that I gotta listen to. I don't know if they're stylized or anything, because the Iceman definitely did sound like a regular Drake album, I will say.
Come on now, with the glove, with the Michael glove. Listen, man, I watched the Michael movie. Hey, yo, listen, Jafar Jackson, my guy needs an Academy Award, an Oscar, or something, because that boy sounded like his uncle. That boy was moving like his uncle. Have you seen this Michael movie yet? Are you gonna go watch it?
I have not seen the Michael movie. I don't really go to the theaters to watch anything outside of maybe like the big Marvel Star Wars movies. So, if it gets to when it gets to streaming, which it will, I will probably watch it.
This is the highest grossing biopic of all time.
It is Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson, he's still doing numbers.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. The good stuff, man. But we have wrestling to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, another passing within the wrestling world. Barry Blaustein, who was the director and the creator of Beyond the Mat, the famed wrestling documentary that was released in the late 90s. He's unfortunately passed away at the age of 72 years old. Beyond the Mat was groundbreaking, especially for its time, man. I mean, and obviously, the history it has here in the Bay Area with going to APW over in Hayward and you meeting Mike Modest and Tony Jones, who unfortunately passed away a number of years ago, and Roland Alexander, who passed away well over a decade ago now. Following them, and then them having the trial match at WWF, and then of course being backstage at WWF during that time when you have everything with Terry Funk's his retirement show. Then Dennis Stamp saying, "I'm not booked, so I'm not gonna be there," which became a viral meme. In latter years, but yeah, man, just R.I.P. to Barry Blaustein, man. Really ahead of his time with that Beyond the Mat documentary. You see the Jake the Snake stuff in there. There's a lot of very good insight and just stuff into the way the game works on the highest level and on the local level.
Yeah, I mean, Beyond the Mat's a fantastic documentary. If you haven't seen it, obviously, I recommend you watch it. Unfortunately, there's not like an easy way. Well, There's like free ways you can watch it if you go to like Daily Motion stuff like that, but it's not like on a Netflix or anything like that. Unfortunately, it used to be, but for whatever reason, not there anymore. But like you said, I mean, for its time, 30, almost 30 years ago now at this point, kind of peeling back the curtain in a way that we've never really seen before. Obviously, there've been some shoot interviews and stuff like that, but kind of putting it all together on like kind of all three phases of like wrestling from like, the indie level to the highest level in the WWF when they were like at their peak. And then, obviously the Jake the Snake stuff where fell on hard times and then, all that other unfortunate stuff. But Jake, God bless him, still here with us, which is probably one of the most shocking things of wrestling, to be honest. But great movie. Unfortunate, but 72 years old, lived a long life, and obviously he has an impact in the wrestling world and in film in general.
Absolutely. What you call it? Season 7 of Dark Side of the Ring will premiere on July 7th of 2026. Um, it says they're going to be focused on Ray the Big Boss Man Taylor, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Missy Hyatt, Zach Gowen, the Renegade, and the infamous match between Samoa Joe and the Necro Butcher.
Yeah, in the same vein as Beyond the Mat, Dark Side of the Ring is kind of taken that type of not documentary, but kind of uncovering different things in wrestling, and they just keep on chugging along, even though there's been rumor and innuendo that they're going to be shutting down, but they just keep coming back with another season. And the Necro Butcher Samoa Joe one is a little interesting because that is a legendary match that I don't think. I mean, I haven't like sought out information, but I'd like to see what they do with that one.
Yeah, that's probably one of the episodes that we're gonna. Bro, when was the last time we actually like recapped in Dark Side of the Ring, like season 3? I don't even
Something
think
like
I made
that.
it through all the way through season 3. Yeah,
Unfortunately, I don't think I have Vice on YouTube TV.
yeah. I mean, the episodes are on their website. Just had to like sit through like a couple ads, but you can watch it that way. So interesting to see, especially that Samoa Joe Necro Butcher one. May have to go back and see like a lot of the ones I missed on Dark Side of the Ring. There were some episodes I did want to watch, I just never got around to them, like the Bam Bam Bigelow one and etc. So I'm gonna have to get onto that. Masha Slamovich is going to be inducted into the Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame. She's a Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame inductee along with I believe Mercedes Martinez and Gail Kim are going to be inducted as well. Oh yeah, Masha Slamovich. I think she's in Japan right now. Yeah, the controversies came last year with the whole domestic violence.
Did we ever get some sort of update on that? Because I obviously we talked about it on the podcast, but then it just kind of like
Just
faded
kind of
away.
yeah, just kind of faded away. Yeah, I think her last like televised appearance anywhere was like an Impact in like September of last year, and then she kind of just like went to Japan, I think, and just kind of like just chilling over there. But yeah, inducted into the Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame. Congrats to her, Masha Slamovich, Russian Dynamite, man. She has an intensity about her and her like despite whatever happened, man. Her work was always crisp and it was always effective, and it was always believable. So congrats to her on that, and hopefully there's been a healing process given whatever happened with her and was it Akira?
I believe so.
Yeah, yeah. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven health updates.
Yeah, we got Chelsea Green. She's been absent for quite some time. We all know she kind of had that ankle injury, but I didn't realize, or it wasn't like known really, that she had some sort of irregular heartbeat or some sort of heart procedure done to her. So that's why she's kind of been gone for an extended period of time. Looks as though she might be back, maybe not on television, but at least I think she traveled and will be, at SmackDown. I don't know if she'll make an appearance on television or not because they've been kind of doing something with her and Tiffany Stratton a little bit. So maybe they kind of get the ball rolling with that. But then also Piper Niven posted on Instagram, posted on social media this week that given her health update that she had a major neck surgery. She had like a disc, pressed up against her spine. So she got that taken care of. So hopefully Piper is maybe not back in the ring soon, but maybe back on television with Chelsea.
There you go. You love to see it. Yeah, Piper Niven, one of the great talents that the company has. I'd like to see her I'd like to see her have a nice US title run, just going through people, build her up to be beat. I think that'd be a lot of fun to see whenever she can come back. Speed of recovery to them both. WWE house shows are back, summer house shows anyway.
Yeah, we're middle of May, so we're, right around the corner from summertime. So WWE's kind of announced a lot of shows that are coming up. Obviously, SmackDown coming to the Bay, coming to Oakland for the first
Yes,
time in quite some time. They've been running
first
a lot
time
of
in seven.
shows.
I think the last time they ran a TV show at Oakland was when Jinder Mahal was the WWE champion.
Was that a Raw?
That was a
That was a
SmackDown.
SmackDown? Because I remember I went to a Raw in Oakland.
That's that's when he was feuding with Shinsuke during that time. Yeah.
Yeah, because usually, around here they run one show in San Jose, one show in Sacramento. Interesting, they never really run in San Francisco, but maybe that's just because it's too expensive and it's a lot cheaper to run in San Jose. But yeah, they're back in Oakland. But summer house shows are back. It seems like it's going to be a pretty extensive list. I don't really have the
They're
list
gonna be
in
in
front of me, but
they're gonna be in Bakersfield and Stockton in July, late July.
yes. Oh, here we go. So yeah, they've announced like 10 house shows, which house shows have been a topic of discussion, controversy that, TKO WWE have kind of scaled those back. And, house shows are a way for not only wrestlers to, get their reps in, but also a way for kind of those lesser towns or, other people to be able to watch something that they see on TV, especially with the exorbitant prices that WWE be charging for their TV shows. It seems as though there'll be quote unquote more fairer prices for these house shows. We'll see what a fair price considered is by TKO, but you know, house shows are fun because they run those like lower level cities and they get a chance to see them.
Yes, I'm a fan of a good house show. I love a good house show. I love a good WWE live event. I'm excited. Yeah, man, I'll go to a Stockton house show. I'm not opposed to that, man. I'm down. I'm down to go see what's going on over there. I'm down for all of it. Brandon, I don't know if you know this, but I am down for all of it.
You're down,
I'm down.
down to clown.
I'm down, brother. All right, SmackDown recap. Gunther challenges Cody Rhodes to a match in Clash in Italy. So now we know what the kind of looming favor that Gunther had. It wasn't dragged out too long like the Punk one was. Kind of got to it right away. It's a WWE Championship match, not in the United States. I like how Paul Heyman says it's not going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. It's not even going to be in the United States. It's going to be in Italy. So Gunther wrestling on another continent is always big. It's a home continent match. Um, what you call it? Cody told Paul Heyman that Brock Lesnar retired on you. The tribal chief wants nothing to do with you. CM Punk discarded of you, and then Paul Heyman tells Cody everybody needs the wise man. Eventually, Cody was telling him that you're out of options. Is that why you're running with Gunther? Hey, look, man. If the Cody heel turn ever does happen, do we replicate the Roman heel turn where we pan and Cody sitting next to Paul Heyman?
I mean, that's a possibility. Paul Heyman has a knack for being attached to top people or people that have a bright
This is
future
this
ahead of them.
bro. This is his first time since 2012 that he is not attached to a top guy. He was with Punk during his big run. Then Lesnar came back, so he had him at the same time. Lesnar's retired now. Then, of course, everything he did with the Tribal Chief and the Bloodline. This is his first time he's not attached to a top guy in well over a decade.
Since the Cesaro Curtis Axel days.
But
Those
even
are
though, but he still had Brock during those days.
good times. What a time to be alive. Curtis Axel.
Hey man,
Just
Axel
like
Mania
Braun
still running wild, brother.
Just like Braun Breaker, let's not forget the real name that has a legacy. Let's just give him a new name. Even though everybody knows whose kid he is, but whatever.
I thought it was Beulah McGillicuddy's son.
Well, anyways.
What do you mean? Anyways, man, Beulah McGillicuddy, Michael McGill. Look, I was a young kid. All right, man. Like, don't do that to me.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry to burst the bubble.
You're all right.
But yeah, Gunther Cody, pretty straightforward. The whole favor thing, once again, don't know if it's an audible from the Brock retirement, but it should be a good match, should be a fun atmosphere. I wonder if it's just straightforward and Cody just beats Gunther, or Gunther takes the title off of Cody because Cody's held it for not a year now, but he's held it for a substantial amount of time to where it's kind of you look around and wonder how or when is it time to take the title off of him.
Cody.
Yep.
I mean it. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, I want to see like the kind of the promo battles with them. Uh, because yeah, Cody even told him like You beat Goldberg, you beat AJ Styles, you retired the greatest of all time. Cool, easy to find, hard to beat. And then the Cody can be like, you beat John Cena, I beat him too. You beat AJ Styles, I beat him too. Hell, I beat you. Remember that? For the Crown Jewel Championship and all that stuff. So there's a lot that can play on here.
I mean,
I mean,
they tease Cody Punk, and so I feel like that has to be the match. Not saying like, Punk's gonna take it off of Cody, but I think it's more gravitas if Cody still has a championship if they're gonna do that match for the title.
yeah, there is something to that. I don't know if they pull the trigger and do it in Italy.
When's the last time a WWE championship, the real WWE championship, changed hands in Europe? Pop quiz trivia.
Yeah, let's find that out. When was the last time? What you call it? When AJ Styles beat Jinder, right?
Was that in?
2017. Let me know if I'm right. Let me know if I'm right.
I'm gonna probably trust Google AI. Oh, AJ Styles defeated Jinder Mahal on SmackDown in Manchester, England on November 7th, 2017. Look at that ball knower.
Come on now. Who else? Who else? Who else? I'm telling you, man. It's interesting to see what they're gonna do. Kiana James loses to Tiffany Stratton as Tiffany Stratton retains the Women's United States Championship. Um, Kiana and Julia having a little tiff. And Tiff was able to capitalize and hit the prettiest moonsault ever to retain.
Yeah, match was all right. Like I said, they have Chelsea kind of are rooting for Tiffany Stratton. I don't know what that means if Tiffany is going to turn and Chelsea goes babyface, but the Kiana Julia thing isn't really working out. I mean, I think the Julia in WWE hasn't been working in general, but um, it's a U.S. title feud with not a lot of build, so it's can't complain or can't criticize it too much, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we will have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see, man. I'm telling you. I'm excited for it though. I am excited for it. The Kiana James singles run. I'm here for it. Fabian
Remember when
Eichner.
she debuted in WWE last year and they were insinuating she was banging uh Adam Pearce? And they just dropped that.
Wait, what?
They were she debuted on Raw and not maybe not banging, but they were like there was a little sexual tension between her and Adam Pearce, and it was like
I have
very
no
weird.
idea what you're talking
And
about.
exactly, they just wiped that out of your mind. Everyone go back.
These are not the views of the Bullet Cast entirely.
This was like a 2-3 week thing when she got drafted. She was on Raw and she was going to be like Adam Pearce's assistant, and then they just dropped that. Well, it's probably for the best, but especially with the Vince McMahon stuff. But
Yeah, these are not the views of the Bullet Cast. Specifically, these are the views of Brandon Tanguma
yeah, I
only.
remember. Brandon Tanguma remembers,
Yeah.
just like Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yes, this. I remember Fabian Eichner. Do you remember him, the former Giovanni Vinci? He
Hmm.
debuted in TNA last night in Sacramento. See some of the local boys over there helping out in TNA. Shout out to them getting that work in. But yeah, man. Yeah, Fabian Eichner in TNA.
Yeah, I mean, he's a name. Obviously, he kind of didn't click completely. I think he was maybe better, with um in Imperium with Gunther and whatever happened to Ludwig Kaiser, by the way. He like was on television and they had that thing with Charlotte and Tiffany, and I haven't seen him since. Is he hurt or something?
No, I think he's the coaching at Evolve now.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. But yeah, I mean, Eichner obviously was kind of like the third guy in that stable. Maybe he can reinvent himself. I think, his character work was fine. I think the ring work was okay. And, seeing,
Man, that ring work. He had a crisp ass moonsault. Nobody talked about.
uh, he's in TNA. We'll see. This is a very TNA move of a kind of mid low card WWE guy shows up in TNA. Not saying they treated him like, Sting showing up, but
It
they
wasn't like when Christian Cage showed up, brother.
yeah, or Kurt Angle or something like that. But still, they treat it like a big deal when a former WWE guy shows up in TNA.
Yeah. All right. Monday Night Raw. Adam Pearce tells Roman Reigns he's gonna fire Jacob Fatu, and Roman says, "Nah, you can't do that. He hasn't acknowledged me yet." So then we get to it. Roman's out there eventually with Jimmy Uso. Jacob gets there. Jay's trying to stop him. Jacob attacks Jay, attacks Jimmy. Him and Roman brawl, puts Roman through the table, and then all the Usos and Roman are over by the barricade. Running hip attack takes all the men out, and Jacob Fatu stands tall.
I mean, very similar to what they did at the end of Backlash. So I thought it was just very repetitive and didn't really do much in terms of like forwarding the story.
What do you mean, bro? He took out all three of them at once.
I know, but he took out Roman Reigns at Backlash too. So it's like,
Okay, but then you add the Usos. You add possibly the greatest tag team. Some say the greatest tag team of all time. Definitely greatest tag team alive today. Active. Roman Reigns, the guy that was the needle mover and all that stuff. The guys that carried the company for the past 4 years. He took all those guys out in one setting, bro. That's massive. It was like what's a group that you can compare this to, bro? It was like if somebody, I guess DX. I guess you could say DX. Like if somebody had took out like Hunter, Sean, and who was the third biggest member of DX? What, China? I don't know. Somebody took all three of them out at once. Like, oh my god, what the hell?
I mean, obviously they're continuing with this. I forgot that they have, the Clash show in between, and also Saturday's main event, but I don't think it's going to be that type of show.
No, Saturday night's main events before.
Because yeah, I mean, everyone was talking about Roman not being there for the Saudi show in June, but I kind of forgot, or people kind of don't talk about how there's still a show at the end of May. So I would assume they're going to run this back.
Yeah, Roman's gonna be at Clash in Italy, and then he has like 2 June dates announced. So I'm excited to see where they go, man. I'm excited to see what happens with that. The Street Profits and Joe Hendry defeat the Vision with a little help from Seth Rollins, and then what you call it? Seth moves out the way, and Angelo Dawkins gets speared, and Montez Ford's like, "Man, we don't need you. We don't need your help." But anyway, the Vision takes on the Street Profits Saturday night's main event for the World Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, match was fine. Street Profits, I don't know. I mean, they're back, but it doesn't really. I mean, people they like them. They're not like on fire or like people are clamoring for them. I think to win the tag titles, I think it's more of like people don't like Logan Paul, and it's like the heat from that. But I think the Street Profits are probably going to beat Division to take the tag titles off of them, so they can transfer over to a Joe Hendry Logan Paul singles feud.
Oh, hello. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. We'll have to see.
And they'll try to they'll get their clip to go viral. That's what they do.
Yeah, viralness. That's what the world we live in. The Judgment Day lays waste to Paige and Brie Bella, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. They come out there. Roxanne talks about how, what you call it? They're old, they're washed, blah blah blah. Raquel says, "Paige, we're waiting on your next scandal." I was like, "Oh Jesus." And then Liv Morgan shows up, and then they just lay waste to him, and all three of them stand tall with titles. So is that Trouble song? Is that Liv's like permanent theme?
Trouble, trouble. That's me. That's all I got. It was going off on TikTok a little bit for a
But
while, but
that's her permanent theme song now.
I guess, I mean, if you sing a song, it's gonna be your theme song. It's like Sexy Boy. Even if you're, in your 50s and balding, you're still a
Dude,
sexy boy.
of course he's not your boy toy.
Exactly.
Come on now. John Cena saying right now that wasn't his theme song.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of songs that John Cena saying that, that were his theme song. Because he's as we talked about
The
many,
Rock's
many moons ago, the greatest white rapper of all time.
Yeah. The Rock sang on Moana. That's not his theme song.
I wouldn't put it past him if they
Hey,
get like some sort of WWE tie-in.
I mean, when he did the Rock concert during the build to WrestleMania 40, and he hit the "What can I say except you're welcome," I did pop. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I said, "Ha ha ha, good stuff." All right, Io Sky defeats Sol Ruka. Hey, Sol Ruka, man, Sol Ruka's that girl. I know you're not a fan, but you need to smarten up because the rest,
I'm not a fan of the Soul Snatcher.
brother. Do you want her to? Nah, I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, man, Soul Snatch is a great. It's a great effing move. I love it. I love it. I love everything about it. I love a good cutter, man. Because we, like RKO. I mean, I've seen some great RKOs. Then you got like the Cody cutter that has started happening. Javon's OG cutter. Now, how do you feel, man? Like if you have to pick one, the OG cutter or the Soul Snatcher? Because like a lot of these clips, like I see them, they're just staring at Javon while he's hella high in the air. Why don't you just move out the way?
I do have to admit I think Javon's is a little worse. Because like if you go to the WrestleMania one with Rusev off the ladder, Rusev is like diving like 2 feet off the ladder for him to be in the perfect position for the cutter. It's one of those. It's the exact same thing with Soul. She's so athletic. They're both so athletic that they go kind of too crazy in that direction, and then it kind of takes you out of the moment.
How,
Um,
bro? Bro, she's doing a flip into a cutter. Like, I don't understand. I
well,
don't. What do you mean?
you can do those flippy doos, but if it looks like it's legitimate, it looks like it hurts. That's cool. But I just feel like
Yeah,
the
bro,
move
she's
looks.
doing a flip and like she's dragging your head into the canvas. Boom.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in wrestling that you can be like, okay, you throw someone in the ropes, why do they bounce back? It's just
Because the ropes bounce you back.
because that's just how it is, I guess. There's a lot of
Those are the
like
physics of the.
if
Those
we go
literally the
through
physics.
if we go through wrestling, there's a lot of dumb things that we just kind of take for granted. Let's be
There's a
honest.
lot. There are literally the physics of the ropes. You hit them, they will bounce you back. They're not just. You're not just gonna stop. Like, come on.
I mean, also just a suplex, like just a standard basic, float over suplex.
Yeah, I can
If
lift you up.
someone was legitimately trying to fight you, even if they were like passed out, it's very hard to lift a 200 plus person to do a suplex. But that's just something we don't think about.
I mean,
And
I've done it plenty of times. That's just
exactly,
me though.
he's just built
Um,
different.
Dominic Mysterio retains the AAA Mega Championship. Yo, listen, I have the new game, the 26th. The AAA Mega titles on here, and the Rena de Renas is on here in the AAA arenas. I'm creating me a little AAA show on this universe.
There you go.
I've got NWA Power and AAA going head to head to see who's gonna win the Friday Night War, brother. I'll let you know how this turns out.
All right, let us know. Keep us posted.
Yeah.
They try to make this seem like a big deal, but the, I mean, the Mega Championship, they did like a list of like all the champions, and yet like kind of all the top people that you would probably want to talk about, they didn't talk about for obvious reasons. Like you're not going to talk about Kenny Omega, or, Andrade or not Andrade, Alberto Del Rio.
This is the only title that's ever been debuted on AEW or defended on AEW and WWE television on the flagship shows too. The
There you
only
go.
title that's ever been defended on Netflix and Time Warner Media programming. Think about that.
We need to get like the NWA lightweight championship or whatever titles were being defended back in like the late 90s when they or
But I said
97, I think.
on
When
NWA or not NWA, on Netflix TV. Not Netflix TV wasn't a thing back then.
yeah, who cares about USA Network or TNN?
What's even on USA Network or USA Network now?
I know they're doing more like sports stuff because that's the only thing that like draws eyeballs anymore is sports. So
Is Suits still on? I remember Suits took over
I will
USA
say
for a
I
long
do
time.
love because I watch a trivia show, and thank God Raw and SmackDown were on USA Network because they asked like shows on USA Network all the time, and I never watched any of them like a Suits or a Monk or whatever the other shows they had on there.
I was a monk guy. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But I would know them because I'd see the commercials on the wrestling shows, and so I would be like, oh, yep, that's a Suits or whatever. Um,
Or fucking not Scrubs. What was another one? I forgot. But yeah, you didn't watch Monk. I was a monk guy. I was a monk. I was a monk for Monk.
I did watch. Oh, there was one show that I watched, like because of Raw, and I forgot what it was called, but it was like a detective show. It was like actually pretty new, like a couple years ago. It was
Wow.
like there'd be some crime or something would happen, and then we'd have to like revert back and then figure out what the hell happened.
Not revert back. Not
Anyways,
Reaver.
back to the Sol Ruka stuff.
Yes.
Is there any issues with her losing both of her matches and you're trying to make her like this big deal? And I know I get it, she lost to Liv Morgan and Io Sky, which are probably two of the top people on the company, but maybe instead of putting her to the top and then knocking her back down a little bit, maybe you build her from the bottom and work her way up. And everything's gonna be fine because she's probably gonna beat Becky Lynch for the title. We're gonna all forget about this, but
Yeah, man. If she beats Becky Lynch for the title, it's over, brother. She's over like Rover if that happens.
it's not just me saying it. Sports Illustrated says it.
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
Bleacher Report says it.
Vogue, Vibe, um, Hustle Magazine, all they all say it. Yeah. AEW happened.
AEW did happen. Um, they started the show off with like a MJF vignette skit interview, whatever you call it, because he has to put up the his hair against Darby Allin's title at Double or Nothing, and they did a bit where he walked through all the backstage area and he ran into like 20, 30 people, and every single one of them was bald. I thought, a lot of people got a kick out of it. This is me being a Debbie Downer that I just thought it was like so overtly fake, and it was like kind of reminiscent of the MJF Adam Cole stuff of like, oh, this is funny. This get it, guys. This is hilarious, but it just kind of takes you out of the moment. It's like, okay, yeah. Like if there was like a couple people, I would be like, all right, I
You
get it.
know,
But
if they
they kind
needed
of
to,
ran the joke into the ground.
did he run into Christopher Daniels?
Yeah, he ran like literally every bald person I think you've ever seen on AEW television. He saw them like people we've never seen before. He ran into Ricochet at the very end. He ran into
Don Callis?
He did well, not in this vignette, but he did interact with Don Callis later in the show, and he complained about
You
being
know,
bald.
if they needed a bald guy, I
We
mean,
even saw John Silver,
where is he?
probably on ROH television.
Man, well, if they needed a bald guy, they should have called your boy. I would have been over there.
Well, they're I was gonna say when are they back in town? I don't even know when they're back in town, but
Right. You
oh,
know
they're back in town in San Jose for Forbidden Door. How could I forget?
yes, right. Do you know pop quiz? Do you know when the last hair versus title match took place?
Uh, in any promotion,
In general, this is the last time it took place.
when would that be?
You don't know? Come on, guess, man.
Last hair versus title match. Will this be Jeff Jarrett?
No, it
No.
was in TNA though, but it wasn't Jeff Jarrett.
Damn.
Come on, man.
How am I supposed to remember TNA history?
Oh my god,
I know.
bro! It was Lethal Lockdown, Mickey James versus Gail Kim, 2011, bro.
How could I forget?
Yes, how could you forget? Or no, it
That
wasn't Mickey. It was Mickey James and Madison Rain. I'm sorry, not Gail Kim. But yeah,
that's on me.
yeah, I was like, oh wow, man. I saw that on floating around the other day. I was like, wow, that was interesting. But yeah, I think MJF's getting the title back, guys.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like they have this stipulation to where you can't see MJF losing his hair. Like if they did something that,
I mean,
uh,
didn't bro go to Turkey?
yeah, he did.
Like, did
And
you know?
like maybe there is a possibility MJF shaves his head, but it's like the Vince McMahon Donald Trump one. It's like Donald Trump. There's no way he's gonna actually shave his head, so it's gonna be Vince McMahon. Um, so maybe you could have done something where it's a little bit more realistic that MJF could lose this match. But they're having fun with it, obviously. And MJF is a good foil to go up against. They had a 10-man tag, super 10-man tag, Bucks, Cope and Christian, and Orange Cassidy, I think. Anyways, big old,
Oh, yeah.
one of those big old matches that was just, a lot of action all over the place. It was a fun time. At the end of the day, the babyfaces got the win and building up. Also, they announced Stadium Stampede. Who's going to be involved? It's going to be basically the Elite helping out Chris Jericho,
Elite, the elite.
the Elite, and the Hurt Syndicate taking on the Demand, the Dogs, and I believe that's it in terms of like all the numbers involved. But yeah, so that one got announced or whatever. Kevin Knight defended against a returning Brian Cage. Yep, Brian Cage still with the company. I've seen posters of him. He is still yacked as all hell. Maybe if he wasn't as jacked, he would not be hurt all the time, but I digress. TNT title or
Well,
TNT
no.
Championship.
What was it? What was Vince's philosophy? Jack guys last longer. They shouldn't
Well,
be hurt all the time.
well, jack guys who have unnecessary amounts of muscle and weight on them can put things on their tendons. But yeah, it was a good match. Kevin Knight got the win, and then Speedball Mike Bailey came out, and they had a little back and forth, and not like anything mean or anything, but they just kind of had a little promo, and it was fine. Very long, not backstage, but kind of vignette of the Death Riders training on the roof of the building, and they had like a long talk with Osprey and John Moxley. I thought it was really good. I thought they've told a good story of the Death Riders and John Moxley kind of taking Osprey under his wing, and I think this is a nice way to kind of like turn them face, and they're trying to like tell the story or trying to build up Osprey as kind of this, technical killer. And then that played into the match with Ace Austin. Once again, I don't know why Will Ospreay's going like 15 minutes with Ace Austin. Match itself was technically good, and Ospreay got the win with an armbar. Excalibur said that this was the first time ever Ospreay's won via submission. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I didn't really go check it, but clearly they're trying to tell that type of story of Ospreay kind of getting submissions and that type of game in his bag. Speaking of Ospreay, they did announce the Owen Hart tournament brackets are kicking off in at Double or Nothing and will conclude in San Jose at Forbidden Door. So that's a good little hook there because the Forbidden Door concept in a bubble is okay, but politically, a lot of these matches aren't going to mean much. But at least they are putting some AEW matches in the main events of these shows to give some, uh, I'm trying to think of the word, some meaning to some of these matches. Double or Nothing matches in the opening round will be Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay. That should be good. They've also told a story a little bit about Samoa Joe going after Ospreay and trying to recruit him to the ops. And Swerve and Bandito. Kind of weird that they did a vignette of Swerve a couple weeks ago and then they just haven't really talked about it since.
Bro,
Swerve did,
I saw Swerve tweeted like, "Hey, where's Swerve?"
yeah, Swerve did post a video on Twitter a couple days ago, and it was very much, I think, in kayfabe of him kind of talking about how he's not on at television because he's just so dangerous. I don't know. I haven't read anything that there's like legitimate kind of heat or something going on with that, but just strange that Swerve's been left off television, and then they're just going to put him and Bandito back out there. Should be a fantastic match, but I would assume Strickland would win. And then the other two matches are going to be Mark Davis and Jungle Jack Perry, as well as Claudio Castagnoli and Brody King. If I'm marking this out, I would assume Ospreay makes it to the finals. And I probably would say Swerve. I think Ospreay and Swerve at Forbidden Door probably makes the most sense, and once again should be really good. They did, they've teased them going head to head a few times before, so I would assume that would be the Forbidden Door main event and the final for the Owen Hart women's side. Uh, Only one match will be taking place at Double or Nothing, and that will be Willow Nightingale and Alex Windsor. Uh, Other people will be Persephone taking on Hazuki. I think that's how you say it. Mina Shirakawa and my girl Athena, and Sky Blue and Sari, formerly in NXT WWE. So she's showing up in AEW here. Women's side, I think it can go either which way. Willow's trying to go, I think, back to back, or at least, repeat or have a second Owen Hart tournament, which is be the first time for either gender. Um, I would love for Athena to make the finals. Persephone is someone they've kind of built up, and I think she can be a big star in AEW. So maybe she makes a run and she wins up. She ends up winning the championship. So we'll see where that goes. But that is the Owen Hart tournament announced. And main event, Darby Allin took on and defeated Takeshi in another title defense. Also, Darby took on and defended against Pac at Fairway to Hell, which was a fun atmosphere, fun, different venue at the TGL Arena over in Florida. So they basically wrestled at a golf course, indoor golf course. And yeah, Darby beat Takeshita as you'd expect. This was supposed to be Okada, but Okada had a legitimate family emergency take place in Japan, so he couldn't be there. Fantastic match as you'd expect. Darby gets the win, and then that flows right into a contract signing between Darby and MJF. It was solid. Darby and MJF, I think they're so different that they have good chemistry together, and then that sets up the main event for Double or Nothing. So once again, another good show from AEW, topped off with a stellar Darby Allin title defense.
I like it. I like it a lot. Wow, look at them go.
And Double or Nothing coming in next week, so we'll preview that, and we'll get it under the radar. I
Let's
guarantee
do
it.
Let's get it under the radar, man. That's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Go if you're wherever you are in the country or the world. If you have a local wrestling show going on, go check it out. I know ACW will be at the Alameda Brewery tonight. I think the bell time is 7 p.m. I'm gonna go check that out. I know TWF has a show in Stockton tomorrow night. I think at the Colonial Theater, or no, I think the Colonial Theater is in Sac. Anyway, TWF has a show in Stockton. Go check that out too. Thank you guys so much. We will be back next week with a recap of all the things in the world of professional wrestling. Be safe and stay dangerous. Yes, sir.